हरि ओम् नमः सर्वेभ्यः अद्वैतचिन्तनवर्गे सर्वेषां स्वागतं वेल्कम् यू आल् टु द अद्वैतचिन्तनवर्ग ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्याय सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केदारं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणचक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So we are into the second mantra of Kenopanishad. The answer from the teacher. Shrotrasya shrotam manaso manoyat vachoha vacham sahu pranasya pranaha chakshusha chakshu adimuchya dira pretyasmat lokat amrita bhavanti. Now here the traditional dialect between Purva Pakshin and the Siddhanti, that is the opponent and the philosopher, the establishing one who is establishing here, Shankaracharya is establishing the philosophy, is by way of a dialogue or a question answer session. So in that, the first, we have seen this part of it, that the meaning of the verse is Shrota Yat, that because of which Shrotasya Shrotam becomes the ear of the ear, Manasaha Mana, mind of mind, Vachoha Vacham, the word, the speech, or the word of the word, or the speech of the speech. Sahu, the same one, Pranasya Pranaha, the same one is also the life force of the life force. Chakshusha Chakshu is the eye of the eye. Dhiraha Atimuchyatahi. And so the wise people, Dhiraha, Dhimantaha, Adimuchya, mean having discarded the notion that they are belonging to the organ. They are because of the organ. Pretya means having departed Asmat Lokat Amrita Bhavanti. Having departed from this big world, it become immortal is one way of answering, looking at the meaning. Here another meaning which we can take it as Lokat is not the loka of the world which we are talking, but loka is called also lokyate anena iti lokaha is also another which is perceived. So asmat lokat means from the world of perception. Pretya having departed from this world or detached from this world of perception, amrita bhavanti. So when they disconnect from that, or they do not have the ownership or the doership of through the sense organ that I am seeing, I am hearing, I am watching, that in that state, amrita bhavanti. So that is the intended meaning of this words, pretyasmad lokat amrita bhavanti. So to answer that, Shankaracharya starts the first Padabhashyam with Shrotasya Shrotram Shrunu Ati Iti Anena Iti Shrotram Shabdasya Shravanam Prati Karanam Shabdabhivanchakam Shrotrindriyam Tasya Shrotram Sahaya Tvasht Prishtaha Chakshus Shrotram Kavu Devo Yunati. So here the word is that Shrotrasya Shrotam, the ear of the ear. The Shrotram is that by which one hears. Shruyate anena iti shrunoti anena iti Shrotram. is the instrument for hearing. Karanam, Shabdasya Karanam Prati. For the Karanam means instrument, Shravanam Prati means to, for the purpose of hearing, Shabdasya means of the sound, Karanam instrument, or it is also Shabda Abhivyanjakam, which makes the sound, Abhivyanjakam is actually speaking one which by which it is getting identified or enlightened. The word, the sound per se has no potency to give that word has got a meaning also to it. Shabdartha is it is by hearing a word, we are not only hearing the word, but we are also getting the meaning of the word. So that is the word abhivyanjakam we have to be taken. Shabda abhivyanjakam, shrotra indriyam. So the organ of the shrotra indriyam, see, that is where we have to make up the difference. Karanam is an instrument. Is a karna shashkuli, the ear, the hole in the ear, and the tympanum and the tools which are there in our ear. That is what is even though grasping the sound, but there is a aspect of it which brings in the abhivyanjakatva, means what does that word stand for. That conversion aspect is given by the organ of hearing. It is not the physical organ hearing. Indriyam is a subtle aspect of the sound which makes the sound as a meaningful sound to us. Tasya shrotram sahaya tvaya prishtaha. That which he about with whom you have put the question, chakshu shrotram kahu devo yunakti, is the question which is asked in the mantra. So that is why tvaya prishtaha, by what you have asked, you have put the question, shrotrasya shrotram saha kevo yunakti. What is the one? Which means the eyes and the ears together, put together, is being made sensible to me by something. So who is the effulgent being who directs the eyes and the ears is the question. So what happens is that, so pratibhajanasya anurupa pradarshana, the prativachanasya means the answer which is given by the teacher is anurupa to the question. So because the opponent is putting up a objection. When somebody is asking for something, instead of giving a direct answer, so who is the one which is the reason why which you are be able to hear and see, the answer should be given as a direct answer. So and so is the beneficiary for these instruments. Instead of that, why are you giving a incongruous answer that it is the ear of the ear or eye of the eye? In that case, will it not become a infinite regression and absurd? Because that is not the way that to answer. So there is anurupa. Anurupa means befitting answer to the question. It is not befitting to the answer is the objection, first objection by the opponent. असौ एवं विशिष्टः श्रोत्रादीनि नियुक्ता इति वक्तव्ये ननु एतत् अनुरूपं प्रतिवचनं श्रोत्रम् इति. Is it not incongruous to answer he is the ear of the ear when the reply should have been so and so, indicating to that he should be specified as he is the ear. He is the ear. For him the ear is functioning. Like that, in such a attributes directs to the ears will lead to infinite regression. So Acharya Shankara gives the answer, Naisha doshaha tasya anyada vishesha anavagamat. Naisha dosha means there is no fault in it. Because why? Tasya means here the shrotrasya shrotram. That is what is being indicated by tasya. Anyatha vishesha anavagamat. There is no other means by which it can be indicated. Because it is not a thing which is distinct, standing separate, which is getting the benefited by the sound or the eyes or the ears. Yadi hi shrotradi vyapara vyadiriktena स्वव्यापारेण विशिष्टः श्रोत्रादीनि युक्तः अवगम्यते दात्रादि प्रयोक्तवत्. So now for example, if you see the mower or a sickle in operation, there is an instrument called sickle, and there is a a volition by a person who holds the sickle, and the result is that mowing the grass or the chopping of the grass is a result of it. So you have a instrument, you have an action movement of the sickle, and there is a phala, a result with the grass is being chopped, and there is a beneficiary for it who is the wielder of the sickle. That in this case there is no vyapara vyatiriktena स्वव्यापारेण विशिष्ट श्रोत्रादि नियोक्ता अवगम्यते स्तोत्रादिवत् तदा इदम् अनुरूपं प्रतिवचनं स्यात्. Here there is no such beneficiary who is separate from the from the activity and getting separate benefit out of the activity. So what does he say? There is no fault, because his distinction cannot be ascertained otherwise. If he directs of the years could be not possessed by his own activity independently of the activities of the years, etc., just as it is in the case of a wielder of a sickle, etc., then this answer would be incongruous. But as a matter of fact, no director of years, etc., possessed by his own activity is apprehended here, like the mower possessed by a sickle, etc. So natu iha, not here, श्रोत्रादीनां प्रयोक्तः स्वव्यापारविशिष्टो लवित्रादिवत् अधिगम्यते. श्रोत्रादीनाम् एव तु संहतानां व्यापारेण आलोचनसङ्कल्पः अध्यवसायलक्षणेन फलावसान लिङ्गेन अवगम्यते अस्ति हि श्रोत्रादिभिः असंहतः. So what does it say? But he can be known, even though he cannot be directly seen as a director or and the beneficiary for the years and possessed by that, but he can be known by for the form of inference as existing unmixed with the year, from the logical necessity that such activities are deliberation or volition, determination of those very composite things, etc., like the year, etc., must be meant for someone else's benefit. So here it is the reason why is being given is here is bringing a famous dictum from the Mimamsaka. What is it that says? Prayojana prayukta shrotradi kalapah grihadivat. Tatra grihadivat iti is an example. So what happens is that samhatanam parartatvad avagamyate shrotraadinam prayukta. Samhatana means the assemblage of anything, like the bricks, the windows, doors, roof, etc., is for the house, grihadivat, is not for the individual window, door, or the bricks or the roof. It is for somebody else. That assemblage has come into existence. Same way here, you have got ears, eyes, nose, and etc. All of them are for parartatvam. Tasmat anurupameva idam prativachanam shrotrasya shrotam iti. So here the answer is befitting, because even though the person cannot be directly indicated who is the beneficiary, because the reason is that there is no, see the anyata vishesha avagamanat, there is no special quality. It is nirguna niravaya niravakara. So there is no way in which you can indicate who is getting the benefit out of the assemblage of sense organs of the body, because vishesha anavagamat, there is no specific indicator by which he can be indicated. Tasmat, therefore, anurupam eva iti pratavachanam shrotasya shotram iti. Therefore, it is by, just as in the case of house, so also there does not exist someone standing outside the conglomeration of the ears, by whose necessity is impelled the group of ears. Thus, from the fact that the composite of things exists for the need of someone else, a director of the ears can be known, only inferred, that is, can be inferred. Hence the reply, ear, he is the ear of the ear, etc., is quite appropriate. So this anurupatvam, or the befitting, is the answer, is proved that definitely there is this rule of assemblage is for the benefit of somebody, but in the case of here, the beneficiary of the ear is not separate from the ear, the mind is not separate from the mind, the prana is not separate from the prana. So therefore it is present everywhere. He is the beneficiary, or the atma is not as a standing out separate individual or a entity inside the body. It is in his presence only the ears become ear, the eyes become eye. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. It will come later. Only when the presence of that beneficiary is there, the eyes can see, the ears can, hear, etc. Therefore, the answer is befitting answer is the first question, and it's an answer. Now, then the question is, if that is the case, the opponent is asking, Shrotrasya Shrotramidi Shrotradinam Prakashakatvam. So Suprakashakatvam is being now established. Akshepaha means objection. Kaha puna atra padartaha Shrotrasya Shrotramityadeh nahi atra Shrotrasya Shrotrandarena artaha yata Prakashasya Prakashandarena. The objection is that, what again, can there be a significance there here for the question ear of the ear, for just as the light has no need for another light, so in this context the ear can have no need for another ear. This is why the infinite regression can happen. The opponent is asking, if the ears are for the ear, Shrotrasya Shrotram, that word is that the ear of the ear, so then which is the ear of the second ear? That question can come as a infinite regression, as the anavastha dosha. That is what is the problem here. So samadhana answer is naisha dosha. There is no problem for that. Ayam atra padartaha. Padartaha here, the meaning is that ayam atra padartaha. The word, the meaning here is Shrotram tavat svishaya abhyavanchana samartham drishtam tattu svishaya vyanjana samarthyam Shrotrasya chaitanye hi atma jyotishi nitye asamhrude sarvantare sati bhavati na asiti iti. So what does it say? There is no such fault. The significance here is of the expression is this: the ear, to explain that, is the seen to be able to reveal its own object. This ability of the ear to reveal its own object is possible only when the eternal, non-composite, all-pervading light of the self is there, but not otherwise. Hence the expression ear of the ear is justifiable. So if the ears or the sense organs have the potency to see by itself, like the sickle has a potency to cut itself, say you need a wielder of the sickle to cut it. Here, if the cutting, the activity of cutting is in the sickle, but the intended person who wants the grass to be cut holds the sickle for chopping. But here in the case is that the ear has no potency to hear without the beneficiary. Now if you look at the instrument in the item, both the cases, in the case of the sickle has the potency to cut. Only thing is, because it is a inert material, it doesn't cut. Here we have see that this eyes has no such potency in the absence of the Atma Jyoti, that all-pervading light of the self. That is why the dead bodies cannot see. Even you open the eye of this thing, if the eye happens per se has the potency to see, even when when you open the eye of a dead body, he should be able to see that. That is not happening. Hence, the expression year of the year is justifiable. To the same effect, there are other Vedic texts. Now here is quoting the other Vedic. Atmani eva ayam jyodhishaha te. Ida Brihadaranya Upanishad. Tasya vasa sarvamidam vivadi. In the Muntaka Upanishad. Yena suryastapati tejastadve. Taittiriya Upanishad. Ityadini. What does it say? The Brihadaranya Upanishad says, it is through the light of the self that he sits, and through his light all this shines. Tasya vasa sarvamidam vivati. Kindled by which light the sun shines. Tejas tapate. In the Taittiriya Upanishad. And then in the Gita also, what does it say? In the Bhagavad Gita also, the same thing. Yadadityagatam tejo yad jagat vasayate akhilam. Bhagavad Gita. Adityagatam tejaha jagat vasayate akhilam. Just as the sun, the presence of the sun, the whole world is lit. Same way, the presence of Atma in the body, all the sense organs becomes potential to grasp their respective or objects. Kshetram kshetri tata krishnam prakashayadi varatah. So kshetram kshetri tata krishnam. The complete the body and the objects for the body prakashayati is well lit by the Atma. Iti Gitasu. Katakecha in the Kenopanishad. Nityo nityanam chedanastat chedananam. Iti. So what does it say? As the sun illumines the whole universe, so does he who resides in the body, O descendant of Bharata. He illumines the whole body. So also in the Kenopanishad, the eternal among the ephemeral, the conscious among all the consciousness is what the Kenopanishad says. It is commonly accepted belief that the ears, etc., constitute of the self, and that these are all conscious. This being is being refuted here. This was the belief earlier, because the eyes and the ears, the self of this all, and that these are the conscious. This being refuted here, there does not exist something which is known to the intellect of the men who realization which dwells in the innermost recess of all, which is changeless, undecaying, immortal, fearless, unborn, and which is the ear, etc., of even the ear, etc., that is the source of their capacity to act. Thus the answer of significance of the word can certainly be justified. Now look at what the Sanskrit portion is saying. श्रोत्रादि एव सर्वस्य आत्मभूतत्वं चेतनम् इति प्रसिद्धम्. So the Chaitanya or the self is the sarva atmabhudam. It is dependent on the Atma for their functions. Tad iha nivartyate. So here it is that it is being proved that it is only in the presence of the Chetana the Shotradis also Chaitanyam Chetanatvam is that the life force comes into it. Asti kimapi vidvat buddhi gamyam. So there is something which is not directly possible for us to indicate by saying that this is the Atma with which you are able to see, or the Atma is functioning as the director for the ears to become the ear, eyes to become eye. That is not possible. Therefore, Vidvat Buddhi Gamyam, it is for those Vidusha or those people who have done the research through in their intellectual analysis, and they have come to a understanding sarvandara tamam kudastam ajam ajaram amritam abhayam shrotradehe api shrotradihi tat samartyam samartya nimittam iti prativachanam shabdartha cha upapadyate eva. Therefore this vidvat buddhi gamyam, those who are using their intellect and logic will be able to understand avagamyam. What? Sarva andaratamam, the innermost, what is that? Kudastam, which is residing in the body, as ajam ajaram, which is unborn and without a decay, amritam abhayam, it is eternal and it is fearless, is shrotadehe api shrotram, that is the one which is the ear of the ear. Tat samartya nimittam, that because of that, the potency for that, this prativachanam, this answer, shabdartas cha upapadyate eva. That is why this answer to ear of the ear is befitting. Tada manasaha andakaranasya manaha. Same way, for the mind, andakaranasya manaha, the entire inner instruments or antakarana, manaha, it is the mind of the mind. Nahi andakaranam andarena chaitanya jyotisho didhitim svavishaya sankalpadhyavasaya adi samartham syad. So antakarana andarena chaitanya jyotisho, because of the chaitanya jyotishi, didhitim is shining, svavishaya sankalpa adhyavasaya adi samarthyam, because the chaitanya has a potency to enlighten even things which are there in the mind, because there is no way the external light can give the feeling that what is that is shining, the the experiences of the antakarana. Same jyoti chaitanya jyotish only, which enshines it, which is that for the internal thing. So vishaya, in the mind, whatever vishaya is coming up, sankalpa adhyavasayam, like that, imagination and determination, like that, samartham syat. So because of that, chaitanya jyotish only, because the presence of it is why the mind becomes able to know the things of the vishaya of the mind. Tasmat manaso api manaha. Therefore, it is the mind of the mind, because mind by itself cannot know. Only when the sovishaya sankalpa adhyavasayam is shined by the atma jyoti, chaitanya jyoti, then only the mind knows what is happening in the mind. Tasmat, therefore, manasaha api mana iti. Therefore, it is the mind of the mind. Iha buddhi manasi eki kritya nirdeshos manasah iti. Here that manasa, even though the mantra talks only about mind, manasaha, Acharya Shankara says, buddhi manasi eki kritya. We should consider the aspect of mind as andakaranam, not as the mind alone. This is the answer. So watch, then the next one is vachoha vak iti vibhakti nirnaya. Now here it is the bit of grammar which is coming there. Yat vachoha vacham yat shabdo yasmat arte shrotradibihi sarvaihi sambadyate yasmat shrotrasya shrotram yat yasmat manasaha manaha ityevam. See here the word vachoha vacham, and is used in the sense that it belongs to somebody. He is connected with all such words as shrotrasya, this way, mind is of mind. So this word of is a contesting for the opponent. Opponent, we say that normally when we say it is Rama's cow, Rama is separate, cow is separate, right? So why the year of the year means there has to be a separate entity which is from the year. Therefore, the akshepa is objection is that vachoha vachamidi dvitiya pratamatvena viparinimate pranasya pranaheti nirdeshanat vachaha ha vacham ityetat anurodena pranasya pranamiti kasmat dvitiyai va na kriyate. Then it has to be in the second case. It should have been the objective case of vachoha vacham is to be changed into nominative in the consonance with the expression of pranasya pranaha, the life of life, in conformity with the vachoha vacham. Why should not conversion into the objective cases pranasya pranam? So pranasya pranam iti kimasmadati samadhanam. Now the answer for that, why the grammatical difference is there, why is it in the sixth case not in the second case, is the question. Na, there is, he says no. Bahunam anurodasya yuktatvat. For it is reasonable to confirm the majority. Because of the majority, it is used in the 60. Therefore, vacham ityasya tvag vag ityeva वक्तव्यं सहु प्राणस्य प्राणः इति शब्दद्वयानुरोधेन एवं हि बहूनाम् अनुरोधे युक्तः कृतं स्यात्. So what does it say? For it is reasonable to conform to the majority. So in the consonance of with the two words swaha and pranaha, saha and pranaha, in saha you pranasya pranaha, where they are in nominative case pranaha, not pranam, pranasya pranam. So that is why he is objecting to that vachoha vacham. So vacham is a nominative case, whereas in the pranasya pranaha, the pranaha is not in the nominative, in the second case. There where they are which they are in the nominative case, the implication of the word sacham vak for the thus is reasonable conformity to the majority maintained. Moreover, a thing asked about should be properly be denoted in the first nominative case. He of whom you ask and who is the life of prana, of that particular function is called life. By him, indeed, is ensured by the capacity of the vital force to discharge its functions of sustaining life. And this is because there can be no sustaining of life by anything that is not presided over by the self, in accordance with the Vedic texts which are being quoted here. So what does he say? That पृष्टं च वस्तु प्रथमस्य एव निर्दिष्टुं युक्तं. Yeah, what you said is right. You should have been in the nominative case. Sa yastu taya पृष्टः प्राणस्य प्राणाख्य वृत्ति विशेषस्य प्राणः तत्कृतं हि प्राणस्य प्राणसामर्थ्यं न हि आत्मनाधिष्ठस्य pranam utpatyateta. So here that is more of a interest for the grammatical students, but basically here the difference is that in the case of the vacha shrotrasya shrotram, so of the sound, like I explained that the sound of sound, ear of the ear, eye of the eye. But when it comes to prana, the prana is used not in the second case, it is used in the prathama. That is why prathama yuktena tatkridam pranasya pranama samartyam nahi atmana adhishtanasya pranaman upatisthati. So therefore that it is in according to the Vedic text, because this is mentioned is that it is presided over by the self, not owned by the self. That is the difference between the two. Simply, if you want to make it as simple as possible. Kahi अन्वय ka pranadyesha akasha anando syat taitriyam urdhvam pranam unnapya apanam pratyagasyati. Yena pranaha praniyate tadeva brahmatvam vidhi. Is the Kena Upanishad in the coming in the 8th mantra is coming. So what does it say? Who indeed will inhale and who will exhale if this bliss, Brahman, is not there in the supreme space within the heart? This is what the Taittiriya Upanishad meaning is. And in the Katha Upanishad is that who pushes the pranam upward and impels the apana inward. That force is the one different from the prana. Therefore, the pranasya prana is a separate from the prana. Same way in the earlier case also, it is the Atma, Brahman, which is there, inhaled in the space, Hridayakashe, which because of which the inhale and exhale taking place. Here too, it will be said that in the here too means in the Kena Upanishads also, it will be said later, that which man does not smell with prana, but which the pranam is impelled to know, that to be Brahman. That is, the smell is not known by the prana, but the presence of Brahman or Atma, the prana is able to grasp the organ of smell, which is the nostrils in the smell case. So the opponent is taking an akshepa here is Shrotradi Indriya Prastave Granasya eva pranasya natu yuktam grahanam. Is it not proper to understand prana as the senses of smelling in a context which deals with the senses, etc.? Here he is now saying that then why do you want to take something different from the body which is not visible in the body? Why can't you take prana, because of which everything is working, just not only smelling alone? Ears, other senses also, you should extrapolate the same thing. Satyameva, that is true. Prana grahanena eva tu granasya grahanam kritam eva manyate shruti. The text considers that by mention of pranam, vital force, the sense of smell is referred to ipso facto. Is in fact, it is smell of is referred by the prana. Tada chakshusha chakshu rupa prakashasya chakshusho yad rupagrahana samartyam tad atma chaitanya adishtam adishta tasya eva anda chakshuhu chakshuscha. The meaning is intended in this context also, that for which the whole purpose occurs, the activity of all the major sense organs is in the Brahman. So it is not only for the prana, it is equally applicable to others also. So your question is true, even though it may be like an opposition question. So Acharya Shankara says, no, your question is valid. Just not only for the prana, but even for the other sense organs also, it is the presence of the Atma or Brahman in the body, which is why the sense organs makes a meaning for their purpose acting. Jnatva pada adyahara nirupana. Now there comes next. In the continuation of the example, he says, Prushtuhu prustasya artasya jnatu mishtatvat Shrotradehe Shrotradi Lakshanam Yatoktam Brahma Jnatva. The word Jnatva, Jnatva Amrita Bhavanti is that in the mantra. So that word that Jnatva is it. Ityadhirhiyate Amrita Bhavanti iti Phalashrutescha. So here also he is the Chakshusha Chakshu. He is the eye of the eye. The capacity to perceive color that the eye, the organ of sight, possesses is merely by virtue of being presided over by the consciousness of the self. Only when the presiding self is present in the body, the eye can perceive the color, the sense, etc. Hence, he is the eye of the eye. Since the questioner's desire is to know the thing which he asks for an expression, having known has to be supplied thus. So, Amrita Bhavanti, ज्ञानाद्यय अमृतत्वं प्राप्यते ज्ञात्वा अधिमुच्य इति सामर्थ्यात् श्रोत्रादिकरण कलाप मुञ्जिष्ट्वा श्रोत्रादेः ह्यात्मत्वं कृत्वा तदुपाधिः सन् तदात्मनः जायते म्रियते संसरति च अतः श्रोत्रादेः श्रोत्रादिफलक्षणं ब्रह्मत्वमेति विदित्वा अतिमुच्य श्रोत्रादि आत्मभावं परित्यज्य. So what does it say there? So having known that he is the eye of the eye, since the questioners desire to know the things that he asks, is having known has to be supplied with having known the Brahman. Jnatva, the word, having known the Brahman, as in the case of year and year of the year, as indicated above. This addition also necessary because the result is stated thus. Is not only the eye is for the eye, the ear is for the ear, etc., prana, mind, etc. In addition to that, Jnatva, in the last sentence is Jnatva Amritattvam is that mentioned as a result of that. So the question, if you look at that, Keneshitam patati prekshitam manah, Kena prana pratama preti yukta, Keneshitam vacham imam vadanti, Chakshushotram kahu devo yunakti. So there is a kahu devo yunakti is indicating that the questioner also is accepting that there is somebody which is beyond the sense organs, because it is not an ordinary student who is asking a question. The student has gone into deep meditation, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, and he has come to the conclusion that it is not the eyes, ears, etc. are functioning by itself. There is something Deva, that is how he understood that, which is making these things are united with the body for functioning. So the question is from that point of view. So therefore the answer also has to be supplied that having known this, the Deva, once have you known that when you know that this is the Brahman, as the ear of the ear, as indicated in the reply answer, this also necessary because the result is stated that they become immortal, Amrita Bhavan. And because immortality is attained through realization, from the fact that a man becomes free after getting the realization, it follows that he becomes immortal by giving up, through the strength of the knowledge, the group of sense organs beginning with the ear. That is to say, since he is identifying the self with the ear, etc., a man becomes conditioned by this and takes birth and death, etc., transmigrates. Therefore, having realized that one's self, the Brahman that is defined by the ear of the ear, and Atimuchya, having given up the self-identification with the ear, etc., becomes immortal. Now, this, even though the English translation is long, the answer in Sanskrit is only one word, one sentence. Shrotradau atmatva bhavam krutva tadupati san tadatmana jayate mriyate samsarati cha atah shrotradehe phaladi lakshanam brahmatvam iti viditva atimuchya shrotadya atmabhavam parityajya ityartham. So what does it say? If we identify with the sense organs, I am seeing, I am hearing, I am smelling, all these things, and it is that I am happy, I am unhappy in the mind, I am thinking, I am questioning by the brain, etc., all of them, and I am breathing, it is my breath, and all those things is when the tadatmya or identification as the doer of these activities. When you become the doer of the activities of seeing, hearing, everything, we are limited by the sense organs. So when you say I am seeing, you are limiting yourself with the limitation of your eye. Suppose if you have a color blindness and you can't see a color, particular color, that is superimposed on the eye, Atma, because of the defect of the eye. Same way, if you can't hear by the ears properly, the defect of the ear is say I am deaf, or I am blind, or I. So all these type of misconception which is there in the ordinary life, by identifying with the sense organs as the limitation of the individual, such people jayate mriyate samsarati cha. It is that those who do not know this, the ear of the ear, eye of the eye, as separate from that, if you don't do that, the birth and the question of birth, death, and the transmigration again and again is due to the false notion that you are the limited by the sense organs, and therefore the limitation of the sense organ is superimposed on the self, where the self is not by any way limited. So atimutya means having abandoned shrotradi atma bhava parityajya, the identifying that I am the one who is seeing, I am the one who is hearing. When we are doing in our day-to-day life, what we are having is we are limiting ourselves to the limitation of the I. Only one who realizes atimutya dhira atma pretya asmat lokat. So if you remember that starting of the class when I said asmat lokat pretya, so you should understand now that the meaning is only when you abandon that this aspect of the identification of atma with the sense organs, we become limited individuals. We are not the sense organs or the conditioned by the sense organs. We are the presiding deity. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vivadi. In my presence, my eyes, these eyes are seeing. Like that, only you, when you one, he becomes immortal by this de-identification with the ownership of the eye, ears, etc. ये श्रोत्राद्य आत्मभावं परित्यज्यन्ति ते धीराः धीमन्तः न हि विशिष्टादित्वम् अन्तरेण श्रोत्राद्य आत्मभावः शक्य परियुक्तम् प्रेत्य व्यावृत्य अस्मात् लोकात् पुत्र मित्र कलत्र बन्धुषु मम अहं भाव संव्यवहार लक्षणात् त्यक्त सर्वेषण bhutyetartah. So here he is saying that adimutya dhiraha is the word in the mantra. So those who shrotradya atmabhavam parityajanti, abandoning that I am the one with the eye, I am the one conditioned by the eyes, I am the conditioned by the ears, etc., who abandons that, te dhiraha, they are dhimantaha, they are the wise people. Nahi vishishta dhimatvam antarena shrotradi atmabhavaha shakya parityuktam. Because this special limitation of that, of the shrotradi atmabhava, shrotradi atmabhava means identifying with the shrotradi, with the ears, etc., is not yukta. Pretya is vyavritya asmat lokat. Here the loka Shankaracharya is giving putra mitra kalatra bandhushu mama ahambhava samvyavahara lakshanat. So all sorts of, my son, my friend, my wife, my relatives, mine and I, all sort of vyavahara, transactional thing, these are the lakshana when you have shotradi atma bhava. Because if you identify with the physical body, then you have linked to your son, your friend, your wife, your relatives, your ownership and your presiding shape ityadi. Tyakta sarveshana, one who abandons all these link, eshana means identification. Bhutye tartaha, amrita amarana amarana dharmana bhavanti. So one who de-identifies with the limitations of the body, only he becomes immortal. Na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyageneke amritattva manashu. In the Taittiriya, it is there. Na karmana, not by action. Na prajaya, not by progeny. Dhanena, not by wealth. Tyageneke, by disowning or detachment or abandoning. Tyageneke, amrutatvam, immortality, anashu, you achieve. So for that immortality, what is associated with the limited mortality based items? Now, easy thing is that if you identify with the house, and if that house gets collapsed in a tornado or a cyclone or a tsunami, you feel as if you have become nothing. You have come to the streets and you feel that you have lost everything. There, because you identified with your house, and mama griham, it is my house which has gone in the calamity, therefore I have become nothing. That these type of things. So tyage neke, when you abandon that you are user of these things, but you are not conditioned by these things. So then only when you become tyage neke, abandoning that, you can attain amrutatvam or immortality. So this is the famous one in the Kenopanishad, which explained earlier. Paranchikani vidaranat swayambhu tasmat parang bachedi atmaratman. Avrta chakshu amrutatvam icchan. Is that here word is that all the sense organs are placed in our body looking outward. Kaschid dhiraha, here again the word dhiraha is used, the one which is wise. Avrta chakshu amrutatvam icchan. By desiring for amrutatvam icchan, avrta chakshu, he withdraws his vision from the external objects and starts looking inward. Pratyagatmanam aikshad, he sees his own self. That is the Kenopanishad mantra. Yada sarva pramuchyande atra brahma samushnade, in the Kenopanishad again is another mantra. These shrutibhyaha athava atimuchyatya anena eva eshana tyagasya siddhatvad asmat lokat pretya asmat shariradapadye amrutvatya ityartha. So one here, what is that? Atimuchya iti eshana tyagasya siddhatvat. One who abandons all the eshana, means attachment, to putra mitra kalatra bandhushu mama aham bhava, is all of the eshanas. Eshanatrayam is what is normally saying. So one who abandons that siddhatvat asmat lokat pretya, here the loka should be taken as loka is conditioned by the eshana, because in the eshana or the attachment is only in this loka. So one who abandons the attachment to this world of objects here through the sense organs and all, asmat sharirada apatye, one having detached from the limitations of the body, amrutatvam ityartha, one becomes immortal. So to become immortal, the only way is to de-identify our limit by the body. The renounce is the only thing which is mentioned in this mantra. So in the case of the question and the answer is befitting, the answer is befitting because the Atman, Pratyagatmanam, this Atma which is a presiding deity, for the presiding one in the Kodastam cha vimam vitti sarvasetreshu bharata. So all those things are showing that the presence of Atma, the instruments are functioning, and when the instruments are functioning, we are superimposition limitations of the sense organ onto the Atma, and identification of the mind and the intellect and buddhi ahankara chitta to my house, my wife, my son, my friend, all those type of sambandha, relationship, which is called the eshana. All those things are limiting in knowing your true nature. Only when you abandon that, tyage neve amrutatva manashuhu, so only in the abandoning of them you can attain the immortality, which is your swarupa. By nature you are not bound by anything, which is very clear from our day-to-day experience, that when we don't have any attachment to any of those things, we feel the extreme bliss and happiness, yet we don't feel any necessity for anything. We don't feel the necessity to, own anything, aggrandize anything, or hate anything, love anything. We are complete in ourselves. We are in the Purna Avastha. This is experienced by us every day. Yet, when the Upanishad says that only by abandoning that, what is perceived through the sense organs, including the Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara and Prana, all those things are functional tools only for the purpose the Atma is there. In the absence of Atma, which is your real nature, none of these have any functions to perform. Therefore, even while living, if you want freedom from the limitations of your sense organs or limitations of you think you are limited individual encapsulated in the body, you have to go beyond the limitations of the body. That going behind the limitations of the body is adimuchya, or having abandoned the limitations of the body, you becomes immortal. So that a person will become the jivan mukta. Even mukta, even jivan neva muktaha is even mukta. One who realizes that his real nature is not bound by the sense organs or the prana, mind, in the intellect, it's antakarana. He, even while living in the body, is liberated. Therefore, he knows that this my true nature is ajam, ajaram, amrutam, abhayam, nityam. All those words which are used in the explanation, that I am neither born nor dead, I am no birth, no death, nor is I am going through the decay of the, because if I identify with the body, I have to go through the decay and etc. So then I am not even the body. How can there be even identification to say that I am become old? We all say that, no, I have become, from a childhood I have become an old person now. It is because we identify with our body. But one who has done the abandoning identification and knows that these are all tasya bhasa sarvamidam vivadi. Because I am present in this body, the body is able to function. So body is a tool for me to serve for by purpose of experiencing the world, and that limitations of the body or the instruments of the sense organs should not be my limitation. I am unnecessarily superimposing these limitations on myself, and therefore I feel I have a birth, I have a death, I have a rebirth, I have to go through all these things is because of that. So the one answer from the Acharya is what is making us understand that we should think beyond the limitations. In the next mantra, it says, na tatra chakshur gacchati, na vag gacchati, no manaha, na vidmaha, na vijanimah, yathaitat anushishyat, anyadeva, tad viditat atho aviditat ati, iti shushruma purvesham, yena stat vatat chakshire. So I'll explain this mantra in the next class. The meaning is that the eye, which in denoting all the sense organs, cannot reach, na chakshur gacchati, na vak, nor the speech or the motor organs cannot reach it. Here the it is for the Atma or the Brahman. The mind cannot reach, na manaha. We do not, na vidmaha, we do not know, na vijanimaha, we are not even aware how it is. As to how one can teach it to a student, the teacher is saying that we do not know what it is, or we are not aware of what it is, or as to how one can teach it to the students. The teacher is saying that which cannot be brought into the limitation or in the purview of sense organs or the mind or the intellect, how can we teach to a student about it without without using any words? Yet it is distinct from what is known, because it is not limited by what is known for us, for the human. What is known is only through the antakarana and the sense organs. So it is not limited by the antakarana and the sense organ, and it is not unknown. It is not, what is not known. It is not that it is cannot be known. So the word is very clear. tat viditat ato aviditat ati, beyond what it is unknown. So there is thus how we are going to explain to you is, thus we hear from the past masters who had explained it to us. Our teachers have taught us in this manner, and we have understood this, that it cannot be taught in any direct means. It can be only taught through an indirect meaning, because it is your very nature which is being explained. I cannot touch and show you this is you, this is your Atma, or this is Brahman. It has to be realized self within, which our masters in the past has, how they did to us is the same way we can teach you or make you understand. This is how you have to proceed for knowing, which cannot be brought within the limits of the sense organs of the mind or the prana, etc. This is what is going to be the methodology of teaching. So as a preamble, he said that by abandoning the limitations of the sense organs and the antakarana, you can cross the limitations of the body, and there you will know your real nature. Now, since it is beyond the sense organs and the mind and engineering, there is no way we can teach you as this is a known object or a unknown object. It is beyond known and beyond unknown. So there is no direct way we can teach you and explain you this about it. But how our masters, my guru or our parampara, how they have taught us is the same way only we can adopt, because this is the only method which we have understood the reality. We will explain to you in the same method, so that you will also, if with your clarification, with your clear mind, it is experienced as a aparoksha anubhuti within your own bosom. You will be experiencing it, not knowing it as an object, but you, by becoming it, you will know that is your nature. This is how we will be going in the next class. This mantra we will take it in the next class. Any questions?
Binduji, I have a question. Now you said Tasya and another one. Is it second and first, I think, second case and first case? Is it to do with the objective, like objective and subjective experience?
No. That's the word used, prana. The word prana has been used in the first case. That is a nominative case. Nominative case will not be going with the relative case, which is the shashti. Shashti means sambandha. You have to show a relation. For example, when I say Rama's horse, the word horse will be used in the Dvitiya. Ramasya Ashwam. Right? So what happens? Ramasya is the shashti, which is showing that relationship. And Ashwam being the object will be the second case, which is objective case. Not nominative case in the sense. But here in the mantra, what is that? Pranasya pranaha is a word used. So the objection is why in all other places you said vachas chakshusha chakshu vachoha vacham, all you have used objective case. Why in the case of prana you have not used the objective case is what the objection was there from the when the opponent.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions? Okay, if you have no questions, then I'll do the Shanti Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. Dhanyawada.